Hello, I'm from the Australian government.
And I'm from the opposition.
And we're here to warn you that if you vote for minor parties and independents this election, you could end up with
a minority government. And we're here to tell you why that's a very, very bad thing.
for us.
A minority government, from the Latin minimus gubernatio, meaning less bullshit, happens when voters are smart enough to not give any one party complete control of government.
Which means instead of being able to ram through whatever shit legislation we promised Tassal or Santos, we'll need the support of other MPs you elect. Sometimes we'll have to work with minor parties, sometimes with independents, and sometimes with the opposition.
If we're not being total dickheads that day.
In other words, we'll be forced to
Share power. And we fucking hate that, which is why we're trying to scare you away from minor parties and independents by telling you
Minority governments cause chaos and instability.
Remember that time we went into minority government a few years ago? No, because you probably didn't even notice it.
These states and territories have a minority government right now.
As do all of these countries, and yet they all still exist. Here in New Zealand, we haven't had a single party government for decades, and we still exist, even if everyone forgets we do.
And here in Denmark, we've had minority governments since 1909, yet somehow have world-class healthcare, education, and rank as one of the world's happiest countries.
Fine, so they're pretty stable, but
Minority governments can't get anything done.
And yet this one passed more legislation than any other Australian government. And that's cause by having to work with these guys in the lower house, Julia also got their support in the Senate, where bills must pass to become law. So she didn't get so much done in spite of minority government, but because of it.
whatever. Still not as good as a majority coalition government. Of course, when you think of it, the coalition is literally two parties sharing power, which means this was technically a minority government. And this one, and this one, and this one too.
So you're saying minority governments do work?
Only when we do it, honey. Because when these nutters hold us to ransom by demanding $20 billion for dams in exchange for their support, that's stable government.
But when we negotiate with these guys, it's chaos and instability.
Fucking no.
The truth is, minority governments do cause chaos. For us, who have to share power and negotiate.
For lobbyists, who won't be able to influence us as easily since power will be shared across Parliament.
And for journos, who'll have to make more than 2 phone calls to do their job.
For everyone else, it's just democracy working as intended.
Where politicians have to earn their fat paychecks by talking to each other. So if you're sick of majority governments passing shit bills for our mates,
And sick of us constantly teaming up to ignore the things you want, like public hearings for the NAC,
a ban on gambling ads,
an inquiry into AUKUS,
a whistleblower protection authority,
truth in political advertising laws,
lifting job seeker above poverty levels,
making these motherfuckers pay their fair share of tax,
ending native forest logging,
and climate action that isn't bullshit.
then you might want to force us into a minority government at this election.
Except this minority government, we're shit no matter what.
Authorised by the Department for the Prevention of Chaos due to too much democracy.
Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it
the beat, wait.
Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. 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 BOOMER. Please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are all and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur. Hey. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Okie dokie, boomer.
Oh my God, are we here? We're here. We're here. We're
We're
here.
here.
We're here.
Surprise!
Yeah, it is a surprise. Sorry, I overshot that by 4 minutes, but that's pretty close considering the amount of stuff we had coming in to entertain everybody.
That
So-
whatever that was at the beginning, that was insane. Like whoever came up with that, that's a great concept. Like trapeze artists plus skating, like it terrified me. What if he dropped her? What if somebody
Yeah,
took a
no
blade
net,
to the head? Like
no net, sharpened
Yeah.
ice skates. I mean,
Yeah.
take some big ones. And that's why, when I saw that, I said, I wonder how many people have seen aerials on ice before, because this is really dangerous.
I want to go see it live. That shit
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
devil daring.
Yeah,
Like,
that was Cirque
pretty
du
good.
Soleil level sort of stuff,
Yeah,
and it
it
was
was.
really, really a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was Angels and Demons. It's in the rundown. If you'd like to go back and watch it, just go to our rundown for the show tonight
Nice.
and check it out. And again,
That was pretty
welcome everybody. It's so good to be back, and hopefully we're going to be back on the regular. I was a real rough week last week, and I wimped out last Saturday, and Shanda gave me permission to wimp out. So that's why we weren't there. We had a show built for last Saturday, but I just couldn't do it. I
hear you.
I just
It's all
couldn't do
good.
it.
I pulled it all, moved it to Monday, and I pulled the show on Monday. We had a great show Monday morning. As many of you know, we have been booted from the Rockfin in the last week. So we are
Yeah.
not live on Rockfin. And if you normally caught us over on the Rockfin, thank you so much for migrating over to the other platforms to join us tonight. But you know what? Screw Rockfin. They never did anything for us. So,
and
whatever.
Rockfin owes all of you thank you for supporting them for
Yes.
5 years.
5 years you've watched us on Rockfin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And you know what? We played by the rules. We never gave them a hard time, or although we would like to have, because they deserved it. Poor business practices. I can't say enough. And I'd have a conversation with them all day long, but I don't want to talk to them anymore. 'Cause
Right,
not
I
a-
know. I'm just so over it. I don't want to bitch about them. I don't even care.
Yeah.
But they sucked. They blew the whole freaking time. So
Yeah,
whatever.
and
Moving on.
they owe an apology to not just us, but several other people. And how many people did we have following us over there, Shanda?
15.2K.
That's a lot of people.
That's a
So-
lot of people that got pulled from watching our show, and it sucks. But whatever. We're continuing to build on YouTube and Rumble, even though we're kind of stomped over on both of those.
Yeah, so
you
find
can catch
your-
us on X and Kick too.
Yeah, and find your comfy place. We're recommending Rumble, of course, and I don't know where we're at with Kick,
They all
but
blow.
it's we're always looking for another platform. But I want to make a special shout out to the birthday girl this week, Jody Havel. The birthday, happy birthday, Jody! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jody. Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday
you.
to you.
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the intro, but stick around for the outro. We have an Annie Lennox outro that is gorgeous. It just premiered last week, and I gotta say, it's one of the best ones that I've ever seen. So it will
You
be.
love Annie.
Yeah, I love Annie Lennox. Always have.
I'm
of
looking
course.
a little Annie Lennox's
Yes,
lately.
you are. are. Yes, you are. And of course, we're gonna kick it off with "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These." But the second one in that outro is "Why" by Cat Jade of Hindley Street
I love
Country Club.
Why. That's a great
And
song.
she kills it. And you can't cover Annie Lennox, but she owns that song. She does a great job. And if you can, stick around for that, if no other reason. Plus, we have a special unveiling of a memorial dedication that is a permanent now in the deck just before we go out with Shanda and Oz, the Boomer. And you will recognize that memorial, and it's well deserved.
Thank you to our
Because
Patreons.
it is for Rachel Corey, and I told
Yeah, I
Shanda,
saw that.
I told Shanda that I don't know why I haven't put this in here sooner, but this week was
Well, we have
this-
featured her on many.
we
of
featured
that.
her on and off, but she should have a permanent spot just like Julian Assange has a
Yeah.
permanent spot. So Rachel Corey, and she was made dead by a bulldozer in Israel.
An Israeli bulldozer,
an
which
Israeli
is
bulldozer.
Israel's making a lot of people, a lot of children dead this
Yeah.
week. We've seen a lot of
And-
dead babies in our X feeds.
Yeah,
this
it's been a
week.
horrific week, and we don't want to bring you down for the show because we've all
Don't
been
bring me down.
oversensitized, but we're going to talk about that just a little bit. But at the same time, this is an outpost for you to take a breath from all the heinous stuff that's out there without forgetting that it has happened. And please, throw your support where you can, because it's a really ugly world out there right now. And hopefully we'll all get together and make it a little less ugly. I want to shout out the chat over on the YouTube. Come, Schwari, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Kate, your support. Shanda and
Kate's
I got...
occupying right now. I love occupying.
Yeah, yes, Kate. Thank you for your support. Kate sent us some support this week, Shanda and myself, and we desperately need that kind of support, and you were kind to send it, Kate. It was very
Yes, thank
timely
you,
too. Thank you so much. Natalie Williams, good to see you. Vic, what's going on, Vic? Good to see you. We're still shooting them over there to Thurston Community Media. Popeye the Sailor Man, Chris Foster. Good morning, Chris. It's nice and early over there. Peace, Dove. What's going on? Chris Alger. Hello.
Chris.
My Russ Mama and Cowboy Kitty is in the house. Fred Edwards, thank you for our networking. As usual, you do a fantastic job. I wish I could be an acrobat like that, Fred. Abso-frickin-lutely. And let me see who else we got out there. We've got I'm Agent, and you are Agent. Good to see you. You were banned from X. Well, sometimes that's a, Medal of Honor. That
It is. Wear it
Crone
well.
of Heresy, good to see you, Crone. Always a pleasure. We've got Steve. What's going on, Steve? Steve Wolfbrandt, good to see you. Cruella DeVille, love that name. And Disney seems like they're being run by Cruella DeVille these days. And we've got, let me see who else we got. I'm getting that. Steve G is in the house. There's Jody again. Let me see who else we got. Peace Dove again. God, the Son of Jesus Christ, save ice skates and jetpacks. Yes. Wesley Donison, good to see you. Schlatsky, what's going on, Schlatsky? That reminds me, I need to put this in here. Well, I guess I don't.
Well, thank you to our Patreons. That was our
Yeah.
Patreon roll.
Yeah,
We
that was
appreciate
our
our Patreons
Patreon.
more
We
than
do.
we can ever say.
Yeah, you guys keep us going. We're limping along, and our Patreon save our butts time and time again.
thanks,
Desert
Desert.
Mantis, good to see you. And I've got the Patreon banners not working.
That's okay. It already
Yeah.
ran once. Do you see Snorky's hanging out? Hey, Snork. What's up?
Snork, what's going on, Snork?
We got
Good
Rat
to
Angel
see you.
here.
Fingerman, what's going on? We got a lot of people in
Rat
the
Angel.
chat tonight. Good to see you.
Anthony.
Reggie Anthony. Cold Fusion Gaming is in the house. Who is that guy? And let me see who else we got. I'm almost through it, Shanda. Almost. I think I got just about everybody. Got the birthday girl already.
Did you get Sula Moon?
Sula Moon.
Okay.
Got Sula
Got
Moon. We
Sula
share
Moon.
brains. See, you said the same time I did.
I
Tim
know, we
Buck.
share brains.
Good to see you, Tim. Always a pleasure
you.
to see Tim Buck in the house. Jilly. Hello, Jilly. And who do you have on your screen?
You love Oz's nail color? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Let's see. On the Rumble, we've got Hyballist Is that what it is? Hybalist and Ghost Art and Mr. Worthless Eater. I see Indy's hanging out over there. Hey, Indy.
Hi, Indy.
What's up? And that's all I've got. I don't got anything else pulled up. Normally, I would shout out the Rumble at this time or the Rockfin, but
Now, Trailer Park Pundit is running, I believe. I don't have
it
access
is, but
to
it
that.
didn't get any advertisement time, so I
No,
don't
I
think there's
put-
anybody really
yeah,
hanging out over there.
Put some stuff over there, but yes, it didn't work. We're working out some bugs. We got hit by
Yeah,
a couple of different
we got
things this
bugs.
week, and yeah, it's been an interesting week. And if you want to throw us a couple of coins out of the couch, there it is. There's coffee, and what is that? PayPal? Is that your PayPal?
No,
or-
that's Buy Me a Coffee. Those
That's
are also Buy Me a
Buy
Coffee.
Coffee. Yeah, you'd think I'd get that right one of these days. And yeah, we got Buy Me a Coffee. So we got everybody shouted out, and we are at 7:14. So I guess we better kick this show off. Shanda, did you see Commerce Secretary Howard Lunatic, I'm going to call him.
Lunatic,
You see what he
yeah.
said? He said, and this speaks to a lot of people, not just my demographic, but other people. And I can't believe this came out of his pie hole. But give this a listen.
Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month. My mother-in-law, who's 94, she wouldn't call and complain. She just wouldn't.
She wouldn't?
She'd think something got messed up, and she'll get it next month.
Yeah.
A fraudster always makes the loudest noise, screaming, yelling, and complaining.
That's the
What
stupidest.
the fuck is he talking about? Now, I just got approved literally 6 hours ago for SSI. Thank God. Social Security Administration has been amazing working with me. They know how critical my status is. They rushed me through. I got approved in record time compared to most people because of my cancer. And what the fuck is he talking about? Millions and millions of Americans, whether it be SSA or SSI, would be on the phone the very next morning when their check didn't show up because they wouldn't have their rent. They wouldn't have their power bill. They wouldn't have a way to cover for their medication costs.
Yeah.
What
Is
crack
he-
in reality is he fucking living in?
Well, his mother-in-law, he's a billionaire, so he obviously makes sure
obviously.
she's taken care of.
Obviously.
But we want to remind everybody. George Carlin in 2005 said this, and I will tell you my opinion why they're
I
doing
want
it.
people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that.
Yep.
You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money.
Yeah,
they
they
want
are.
your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and
And they're
You're not in it. It's not funny though. It's terrifying. It's terrifying
it
to
is.
so many people that I know. Like
Yeah.
half of my retired family. What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, and
They would be on the
most
streets within weeks.
most people don't get enough to survive with their Social Security.
I'm not even
So-
gonna tell you how much I got approved for today. It's
Right.
less than $1,000. I'm supposed to live on less than $1,000.
That's
on.
incredible. I don't understand. I mean, there's no way. I mean, so, but they did tell you can have a GoFundMe. So is your GoFundMe going back up?
No, they didn't say I could have a GoFundMe, but I let them know I had a GoFundMe. That's how I had been getting by because they're like, how you been paying your bills? And I was like, well, my community has been amazing. They've been taking care of me, but I can't keep depending on that. And so, yeah, I don't know. I got to get all the paperwork and read all the rules because I don't know,
Because you took the GoFundMe down last week, right?
I took the GoFundMe down a long time ago, not just last week. It went down at the beginning of
weeks
last
ago?
month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been down for a while. Pretty much as soon as I applied for Social Security, I put the kibosh on it because I was worried that it was gonna,
Well,
knock me out of being able to qualify.
I think I can speak with the chat that you better get that thing back up. You have to be able
Yeah,
to.
obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. Hey, Kit, I see Heartland's Media hanging out in the chat. Are you supposed to be doing movie night? I thought you had a movie night.
Yeah, I
going
thought you had a
tonight.
movie night. What do you have?
Yeah,
movie
we
night,
never
kid?
want to take from each other's chats ever, and viewers for sure. You guys, if you want to hang out and watch movies with Kit,
Yeah,
do it. I
we
do.
definitely do. Well,
you guys catch me hanging out at Kit's all the time.
always good to see you, Kit, and thank you personally, Kit. Kit sent me some side messages, and really, really appreciate it, Kit. It's great when we have people in our community, like everybody in this chat, who stands with us in our fight with cancer. And I can't tell you
Kit's
enough.
been
It's-
so amazingly
yeah,
supportive.
and Kit.
Earthquake was the movie. I love. What do they call?
Earthquake. Does
No,
Irwin Allen movies?
Doomsday movies or whatever they are. And those are my favorite genres.
Oh God, I can't stand
old,
those,
like,
man.
Like
I like-
Poseidon Adventure. I love
Oh, that
one.
was that movie. Speaking of that, Gene Hackman was fantastic in that. And
He
did
was
pass away.
fantastic. Shelley Winters. I
Yeah.
loved that movie.
Ernest
I get that.
Borgnine and
Ernest
Rowdy
Borgnine,
McDowell. I mean, oh my
Yeah.
God, it had a stellar
was a great
cast.
movie.
Carol Lindley.
Totally.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But what these lunatics are trying to do are they're trying to break the systems so they can say, see, they don't work. And I know this isn't original coming out of my pie hole. I think that is the consensus among our community.
What
they're
is
trying
the
to
fraudster bullshit? Like,
Yeah.
oh, the fraudster yells
Fraudsters.
the most. Like,
Yeah, there's less
What?
than 0.5% of fraud in any of these programs that I understand.
exactly. I
So,
mean, do you know how hard you have to fight to get
yeah,
to approve for these
you gotta
programs? Like,
bleed.
you've
Yeah.
got to be literally 1 foot in the fucking grave to get approved for these. So to act like there's people frauding, there used to be a lot of fraud on Social Security. I will give you that. Back in maybe the 80s and 90s,
Well,
the way the system was set up.
But still-
let me tell you, it ain't
Yeah.
fucking like that anymore.
No, and they were good about getting rid of it, and stopping it. But there are so many people, particularly on SSI, because of all the cancer that's popping up now. I wonder why. What would you do if we didn't have SSI? Would you have more people living on the street? We wouldn't be bent over from our drug problem.
Oh,
We
God,
would be laying in the gutter because we're dying from all kinds of poisons.
I told
that they
the lady,
put
I
in
said,
here.
do you know how terrible it is to have a terminal cancer and you're scared that you're going to be out on the street next month? I said, I've lived the last 6 months not knowing if my rent's going to get paid next month. Literally, will I have cancer? Will I have chemo, radiation, be this sick, and then have to worry
and have
about
to deal
living
with
in
it.
my car or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Not to mention
that's where I've been.
the reams of paperwork and hoops you have to go through.
Bureaucracy I've had to go through for everything,
It's
for doctors,
insane.
for insurance, for
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
sanity.
anybody that's got things going on, find yourself an advocate, preferably somebody in your family you can trust, but somebody that you
Yeah.
can trust, because that paperwork, take it from me, I've had a murky month trying
It
to
wears
keep
you
my
down.
head together. It wears me down, and it's tough. But I guess we better
but not
keep
as much as this ass clown has been wearing me down all month. I got to tell you,
this asshole. I'm not very quick on the draw, so bear with me, everybody. I'm really kind of actually slow. I'll try and hold my own, but Shannon and I were of a mind when we built this deck. And here's Bernie Sanders once again. The United States of America is the only major country on earth that does not guarantee health care as a human right. And the result, we rank last among wealthy nations. We must end that international embarrassment. Yes, we need Medicare for all. Shannon, where has this fuckface been for the last 4 years on this?
not forcing the fucking vote, not supporting the individual fucking marches that have happened across the country from fucking coast to goddamn coast of actual people in the streets fighting for this exact goddamn thing. No, he doesn't support none of that, but he can come out and,
Do
blab
a
his
stump
fucking
speech
lips.
again. Yeah, he's doing a stump
Whenever the
speech again.
Democrats say it's time
Pull
to
his
raise
chain.
some
They
money.
pull his chain.
Yeah.
Get him out there. And you know, some of our friends are all in with this, and I don't know what to say other than, okay,
Sheepdog.
yeah, just don't follow the sheepdog. People say, well, what do you expect him to do? I expect him to get behind other groups and support them and go independent, really independent, and workers strike back. He should
He
should
could
be.
have put pressure on Biden. He
Yeah.
could have freaking demanded something for his fucking endorsement in 2020. But did he? No. Did he in 2024? No. He never has pushed the Democrats
No.
to give him fucking
No.
any concessions on any of this.
No,
Oz, on
he-
any of
no,
the
he's-
platform that we've held so dearly for all of these fucking years and that we've fought for.
We
Any
fought
of it,
for.
whether it
Yeah,
be
all of it.
college, whether it be healthcare, whether it be affordable housing, Bernie is never there pushing the Democrats to hold their feet to the fire on anything.
No.
On anything.
Anything.
Tell it's Trump is bad and scary, and now it's time for him to get out there and move his lips. And why? Because the Democrats don't have one fucking person out there that's worth the damn
Not
shit.
one.
We don't support any of the corporate candidates, and most of America doesn't. If the Democrats actually did a damn thing that they said they did, if they actually supported workers, they'd never lose. We would support them for
Exactly.
everything.
That's
but
the
they
magic.
don't do
That's the
shit.
magic. They don't do anything, so they're plausible deniability, or make sure anything that gets on anybody, it's going to be Bernie and now AOC. And this Faz Shakir guy, he was a campaign manager, I believe, for Bernie back in 20.
One of the-
This
one
guy,
of the,
he's
yeah.
they're trying to rehabilitate Bernie out there. So people are going to say, well, Oz, they brought in 30,000 people in Denver yesterday, and then in Phoenix they had 15,000, which was more than Bernie had, in 2015. You guys, fine, bring them out there. Most of those
It's not
people.
an election season. Who
Yeah.
fucking cares? They got
Yeah.
no power in the House. They got no
They-
power in the fucking Senate. What are they doing with all of this grabbing of the people? They're making money for Act fucking Blue. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, and this is Novocaine for the people who get out there and get those rallies. This will actually this will sedate them. So when Bernie comes around and AOC says you gotta support the Democrat candidate in 2026, in 2028, that's what they're doing. They're sheepdogging us. So fine, go ahead, have your rallies. Bring up all the oligarchy crap.
NSNPSs. That's all.
Yeah,
The only people that are going to these rallies are not the same people that were there 10 years ago.
No,
because
it's not
most
the
of
younger
us
ones, no.
learned. The people that were the Bernie delegates that spent 8-10 years, like myself, behind enemy lines in the Democratic Party,
Yeah, who
were
actually
out on
worked.
the ground with Bernie Sanders traveling the country, we've learned that he's ineffective, that he's not going to do anything, that the Democrats are never going to actually push back because
No.
they're corporate captured. They're
Yeah.
100% owned by the same
It's a
corporate oligarch
duopoly.
that Trump is, and they pretend that Trumpism is coming for all of us. I mean, they did it in 2016 to 2020, and here we are again. It's
Here
just
we
the
are
same
again.
merry-go-round.
Don't fall for it again. Support these people who are going out, but find ways within yourselves with your own groups. Do your own networking. Fine, whatever. Bernie's bringing people out. Take that opportunity when he brings those out. Grab those people that are going to those rallies and leave. Bernie's not going to lead you anywhere but to the Democrat Party that's been fucking you for the last 40 years or longer. But take that
can I tell
opportunity.
you?
Use that.
8 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have thought that Bernie would have stood up for the children of Palestine.
Oh,
Other
my
than a
God.
couple of bullshit posts here or there. I would have, with my whole heart, stood and told you at a convention, a Democratic convention, that Bernie Sanders is there to support the Palestinian people, but now I freaking know better.
No, he just sealed their doom this week, as a matter of fact. He voted to support Israel forever. And there's
Forever,
more on
ever.
that. And I know our sisters and brothers. I know Kit covered the hell out of it this week. Sabrina covered it. Everybody covered it. I think
I can
even
talk about it.
Jimmy the Door covered it. But,
Jimmy the Door.
we're not going to get back into that. But we're advocating and supporting our sisters and brothers in independent media and actual independent media. We're supporting our sisters and brothers. And this is how we do it. So I don't want to get too blown away on this, but this
No,
is...
Kit's done a great job. I'll tell you what, Kit, you're doing a great job. When I see a headline on YouTube that I want to click and I don't even realize it's you, you're doing a great job. And
Yeah, you are.
many times this week there was a headline that I was like, oh, I want to hear about this. And it was Kit. It was Hardlands Media.
Yeah,
so
Kit,
shout out.
Hammer at home with this guy. You brought this, right? Is this Case? Case study QB.
Case Study QB. We love Case Study QB.
Okay, let's see what they got to say here.
The Democratic Party has virtually no grassroots support.
So the Democratic Party has virtually no grassroots support.
Wonder
So
why.
I had a
fuckers.
great event in Delaware this week with the whole congressional delegation, with folks who are families, patients, caregivers, to fight the upcoming cuts to Medicaid by Republicans. What unites
How?
the Democratic Party, what will mobilize the folks who are going to be impacted by
all
huge cuts to
bullshit.
Medicaid by the bill that is on its way through the House right now.
They don't tell you.
Is denying care to millions of Americans. I reject Senator Sanders' characterization of Democrats as in the pocket of billionaires. There are more billionaires in Donald Trump's cabinet than in any cabinet in history. Elon Musk, an unelected billionaire, the richest man on earth, is leading efforts to slash federal agencies. Clearly, the Democratic Party, after the last election, does have real work to do to prove that we hear and
They
connect
had
with
real work to
working
do
people
for the
in my
last
home
4
state of Delaware
decades,
and
and
across
they
the
fucked it
country.
all
And they
up.
never
I think
do.
the contrast
No,
between the
they
priorities
never
of
do.
Democrats and Republicans in this moment,
This is so-
when the Republicans are working
They're blowing
hard
smoke up our
to cut
asses.
Medicaid to pay for more tax
We're
cuts
gonna be
for
tough on
billionaires,
them, and we're
and
gonna get
Democrats are
'em.
coming
Oh, yeah.
Give us your
to
money.
defend Medicaid. I think the contrast is sharp and clear. All right.
Yeah, and then you've got Mehdi Hassan on this, and this is another case here. I'm going to be cutting these short if they linger too much, but Sabrina Salvati, Sabi says he shut down the idea of a third party because he knows that will be real opposition. Independents usually caucus with one of the two parties, and that's why we need a third party. And Shanda, frankly, I think this is one of the times, along with everything else, we have to push ranked choice voting right down both of their throats. We've got to do something for that. But
We're
let's hear what-
actually doing it where I live because we have a charter review. I'm
Yeah.
going to a town hall next week, and we're going to push it down
Yeah.
our local community. Locals where you can fight. You know, we've
Yeah.
learned if you're going to affect change, you got to do it at the most local level.
It's got to be ranked choice voting. It's, you have to have 3 choices because obviously the duopoly is going to keep bending you over like Bernie did. And so we need that third option on there. And even at that, if the system's rigged, might not get by it. But if we've got ranked choice voting, there'll be a paper trail. Keep that in mind. I'm going to play this quickly, just part of it. What is it? This is.
You've talked recently with the New York Times about what the future of the Democratic Party looks like and what maybe young enterprising individuals must do. And I believe I'm paraphrasing here, you said something along the lines of like running as an independent rather than utilizing the party.
For me, that's not a very radical concept because I am the longest serving independent in American congressional history, and I've always run as an independent. Look, I think the Democrats over the years deserve credit for the work they've done on women's rights, on gay rights, on civil liberty, civil rights in general, fighting bigotry. They deserve credit, and they've made progress. But I don't think anybody with a straight face can tell you that they've stood up for the working class of this country. And I think that's why so many working class people have drifted into the Republican Party, not because they believe in tax breaks for billionaires or they don't believe that climate change is real. It's they look at the Democrats and there's not much.
Okay. Social issues, yeah. But as far as wages, as far as social safety nets, the Democrats haven't done shit. They've done all this peripheral things that helps one certain aspect of the community. Why, Shanda, haven't they done the rest of it? Because they're owned by the very same kind of billionaires that the Republicans are, right?
Well, and you say social issues like what? Us being duped by climate change so that way we can be sold carbon credits by the fucking corporation. Come on. I'm not even buying that much. I mean, the whole thing is just both sides, 2 wings of the same bird, and the bird is corporate totalitarianism, and we know that.
Yeah, and they brought out AOC this week, and they're going to, they're gonna bring us together, said AOC, and they're not gonna bring shit together. They're trying to manipulate and maneuver everybody. Once again, nobody's gonna take care of your shit except you. So take these opportunities.
They're trying to build Sandy up to be the next Bernie because Bernie's 83 years old. He's got to exit left here very, very soon. He's going to start Mitch McConnell on our asses. So yeah, Sandy is where it's at. She is the future. She's a bartender just 6 years ago or whatever, and now she's worth $10 million because the Republicans lied and said she was worth $29 million, but she's only worth $10 million is what she's trying to say. But at the end of the day, we had called this 5 years ago that she's the next Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Once again, my point is, go ahead and take advantage of these things, but network inside these rallies, inside these meets. Don't look to Bernie or AOC for any kind of leadership on this. Go, yeah, thanks for getting everybody together for us. Now go sit down. We're going to go network with all these people, talk to these people, and organize through their Workers Strike Back. That's the real deal with Shama Sawant. They were against Adam Smith at a rally today, and there was not nearly enough people there.
Deal.
So disappointed. We need to get behind Workers Strike Back. So bring all these people that are falling for this bullshit from AOC and Bernie. Let's get them into Workers Strike Back or your own group. Network together. That's what I've got to say. I'm going to play this briefly.
Screenshot that.
Just so you can hear. Here we go.
Who's Dobie Gillis?
Because Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security were promises that we as a people have made to each other about the kind of country we are and the kind of society we want to live in. And I don't know about you, Arizona, but I want to live in an America that guarantees health care to every person.
You know, how many people did they pay to cheer at certain points in that thing that came in there? Did they bust in to cheer? This is the same thing they do on a campaign. Sure, people are going to say yay about all these great things they're talking about. But they've been talking about those great things ever since I can remember, and they haven't done shit about it. She folded like a cheap suit to Nancy Pelosi when she swatted
Mama Bear
on Force the Vote. Absolutely ridiculous, gutless.
For those of us who have been on the front lines of Medicare for All, I mean, I have traveled the country. I have testified in front of my state representatives. I have, collected signatures literally for years. All I did was focus on Medicare for All. I thought it was that important. And when these feckless bastards refuse to support us with Force the Vote, that's really when I became disenfranchised with it. And I just stepped back and I saw the waste of energy that it had been. You know, as an activist, when you're on the ground, Oz, and you spend all your time and money and gas and energy and every dime you've got to print out posters and to rent halls and to bring people together and to get PA systems and to have food at these events. I've hosted hundreds of events over the last 10 years, and most of them were focused on Medicare for All. And when they don't turn out to support you, it just deflates all of it, right? When you can't get your representatives to do anything for you. So I remember when we stepped back from Medicare for All about 2.5 years ago, right after the big push for Medicare for All, and they refused to force the vote, and they blamed it all on Jimmy Dore, right? Which really, that was just a fucking excuse. But we got attacked. Remember, we got attacked.
We got attacked.
Literally how dare you not support Medicare for All? Of course, I support it. I've
universal, fully funded health care for everybody. No ifs, ands, or buts. Universal, fully funded. Don't use a catchphrase because that's what these assholes do. And I'll tell you, Shanda, you take AOC and Bernie and put you and me in a room with cameras, not a big crowd where they can bring their people in to yay for them, but just that, and then project it on a big screen TV. And we're not even the best ones for that. I mean, Jeffrey Sachs or Chris Hedges or other, Kashama Sawant would wipe the floor with both of these two clowns.
I
Wipe
had the mic
floor.
ripped out of my hand when I actually did it. I
Actually.
actually cornered the chair of the Washington State Dems.
Tina?
And a little tiny Tina in a little tiny setting in a little tiny hall. And I cornered her and I had real questions for her. And do you know what they said? They took the mic from me. A male walked up to me and took the microphone away from me and told me I didn't have the right to ask those questions.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look at the Democratic Party now. I mean, look at you guys. Like there's 30 of you in here and you guys are losing your shit because you can't answer real questions. And your female empowerment, you just let a male take a microphone away from a female. Like, shut up.
Absolutely. And our Republican friends out there, I say friends because they're my neighbors. What we agree on, we need to get together on, and we unite. If you like Social Security, come on, let's talk. If you don't think they'll rip the mic out of your hand, if you get too close to home, they're going to do the same thing to you. It's not about anything but us. We have to build networks together and fight this bullshit because they're throwing the hot potato back and forth. And Shanda, I'll tell you.
What happened to the Republicans who said, Trump said, oh, we're not going to touch Social Security?
Well, they're screaming right now. They're screaming. There's a sine wave there. But I'll tell you what Schumer did. What Schumer and 10 other Democrats this week, they voted for that bill to go forward, right? Okay, what Schumer and the powers that be in the Democratic Party, they want the Republicans, and they are going to aid and abet the Republicans in fucking things up so bad, once again, that they think, oh, they're going to have nobody to vote for except they're going to have to come to us again. Guess what?
Yeah, that's what they want.
I'm not going to do it. And that's how evil people like Chuck Schumer and Pelosi and the rest of the so-called Debbie Wasserman Schultz, those evil bastards.
We're just useless
in the
eaters
party.
to them.
We're
anyways.
useless eaters. And here we go this week. We've got this. So Bernie's talking all this great shit. You know, at these big rallies, everybody's coming out. What does he do? Bernie Sanders supported a U.S. Senate resolution that supported Israel resuming genocide in Gaza. And I believe that was the Lindsey Graham bill. I think that was Lindsey Graham's bill that did that.
I like bombs.
I like bombs. But, you know, I think Nick puts it succinctly right here. Let's give Nick a listen here.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders joins a bunch of genocidal Zionist Sanders to pass a Lindsey Graham resolution promising to support Israel forever and to destroy Hamas.
Forever.
Bernie Sanders' idea of resisting Donald Trump is joining Senate Republicans so they can support Israel in never-ending war. Another example of how social democracy is just a moderate wing of fascism. Hamas is the legitimate governing body of Gaza, and they have a legal right to engage in armed resistance against Israel, a genocidal apartheid regime that is occupying them. But Bernie Sanders knows this. Bernie Sanders is engaging in pro-genocide propaganda on behalf of Israel. Bernie Sanders wants to convince you that Israeli military action in Gaza is designed to eliminate Hamas instead of the complete extermination of the Palestinian people.
God.
This is Bernie Sanders legitimizing genocide, a term that he still refuses to use to describe Israel's military action. But just to illustrate how much of a Zionist warmonger, piece of shit Bernie Sanders actually is, this resolution also calls to defend Israel against Iran and all their proxies that threaten Israel in the region. This is Bernie Sanders giving the international resistance against Zionism a giant middle finger. This is Bernie Sanders legitimizing Israel's invasion of Lebanon, the invasion of the West Bank, the invasion of Syria. This is Bernie Sanders openly endorsing the Greater Israel Plan. Bernie Sanders isn't just a sellout, he is outright evil, and it's time for us to start treating him like the enemy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There hasn't been a military spending bill that Bernie Sanders hasn't voted for that I'm aware of. Educate me, please.
Yeah.
The guy's a scumbag. He's an evil bastard. Don't fall for his bullshit. And then they got this cosplay crap going on. Fetterman takes a swipe at AOC. We kept our government open. Deal with it. You idiot. I wouldn't let Lurch feed my...
Well, these are the two futures of the Democratic Party, depending on who you're listening to inside the Democratic Party pundits, right?
What the hell ever. And
Saint
then,
Betterman.
yeah, just any, you know, I think Sabrina, I put another Sabrina in because she had a great
Chevy
show
Chase.
yesterday. And I can't stand The View, and I know it's a distraction.
The poo.
And the poo, but you know, these words they're very cogent and they make a lot of sense. I wanted to share them. Credit where credit is due. Sabrina, you said it right here.
AOC is one of the most ineffective leaders in Congress according to the numbers.
Yes.
I'm not making this up, it's the data. You can Google it for yourself. But it's just interesting to me that now all of a sudden it's okay to have someone who wants to fight. But when Democrats were in power and they were maintaining the status quo, which is exactly how you got a Donald Trump elected again in the first damn place, you didn't want people to fight. You didn't want people to speak up.
Yep.
See a leader that's willing to fight. So I break a little bit with Sunny on that. And I think this is the infighting you're seeing on the left. I'm an independent, but I'm a left-leaning independent.
Yeah,
so when I
you're
look at this fight, there's about
independent
65%, like Sunny, who want the resistance, the fight, at the expense of getting nothing done. That just does not track in my mind. 32%.
Why is it at the expense of getting nothing done?
No, they're saying they would fight even at the expense of seeing nothing done. And to me,
Because
that's
Republicans aren't good. They're going to do what they want to do.
My point here is that they're like James Carville has said before. There's a resistance within the party that also
Golden
believes
Carville.
strategically letting them hang
not
themselves.
Carville.
Don't get out of the way. Don't be passive. But they are hanging themselves. You've got court cases that are coming down the road of all of these 24 cases. All this stuff is happening. I know people are hurting, and I can relate, as Alyssa Slotkin said here, to the rage. We all share.
No, you can't relate. And that, I'm sorry, that's part of the problem. No, Sarah. Sarah's basically telling you that the Democrats should just chill and just let the Republican Party just hang themselves. That's what she's saying, right?
Yeah. See, there you go.
Because the Democrats tried to do that when Trump was in office the first damn time. No.
Yeah.
Like, no, you should fight.
Oh,
And
we'll
no,
get him in
you don't
4 years.
understand.
We'll fix
You're
it.
not poor. None of these women on this panel are working class. None of them.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these women, maybe with the exception of Alyssa, I think Alyssa might make the least. These women are millionaires. No, they don't understand. You don't understand. That's the problem. You don't know what it's like to lose Medicaid. You don't know what it's like to not have health care, not have health insurance. I know what it's like to not have health insurance. I've been there. You don't know what it's like. You guys get in cars in the morning and drive up to the View to do this show when the average New Yorker has to take the subway. They don't even take the subway, fam. They're not like
exactly.
you. They're not the same. So no, you don't understand, Sarah. You don't. That's a big part of the problem. Sitting back on your hands and not doing anything is what allowed a Trump to win again in the first damn place. That's how
Exactly.
he won again. Because the
Well,
Democratic
and she
Party
was
didn't want a
Carver
working class
is the
agenda.
problem.
They didn't want to actually give tangibles to the working class people in this country. And Biden kept some of Trump's tax cuts. He continued some of those.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
That's a big part of the problem. These women get in a car, they have a driver to come pick them up and bring them to the View in New York City when the average person has to take the subway. They don't understand. They do not know.
No, they don't. And it's a class war in this country, and all of our sisters and brothers have said that. I see Kelly's in the chat. Hey, Kelly, you knocked it out of the park with Rania Khalek today. Those were good words and good advice you gave her, so keep it up. That's what we need. Now, I want to make one point here, what Sabby was alluding to, is that you have to be engaged. Now, I sent Shanda a little advertisement for pulling away from independent media and listening to music and doing artwork and basket weaving. We cannot afford
And go to therapy.
We can't afford to do this anymore, everybody. And I know how hard this shit world is on everybody. It messes me up. But you have to understand that it is vital for the children. Jody, I get you. I'm with you. That we have brought into this world, that we have to start fighting. We got to get off our ass. We've got to fight for our social safety net, and we have to use the tools that the likes of AOC and Bernie are using against us, like they're acting like they're fighting for us. The Democrats have never fought us for us. And I don't even think they ever have. I think it's always been manipulation. We have to use anything that they give us. We have to organize ourselves. We do have to go to these rallies. But take it a step further than taking 5 of your friends and standing on a street corner holding up a sign. That is not as effective as getting on the phone, going and organizing with people, having meet and greets and talking about this shit. I mean, it makes you feel good to stand on a corner, and I see a lot of my friends, I still call them my friends because they think they're doing a lot, but they're not targeting where they're organizing right, and they're not using all that energy they're wasting, in my opinion, instead of actual organizing. Once again, Workers
the
strike
Democrats
back.
want.
That's what
They
Democrats
want you to
want.
spin your wheels until your batteries run dead, like my fan batteries just did, and that's exactly what they want. And then you run out of fuel and you run out of energy.
You get burnt out. You feel beat.
Burn out. Yeah.
And that's part of the grift. Yes, I agree, Kelly. You're not saying it doesn't matter that wealthy people and of privilege should also care about all this shit. They sure should,
the professional managerial class. That's where we need to be targeting.
It's gonna come back and bite
up.
them in the ass too. And if they don't know that, they're crazy. Now we got another one from Revolutionary Blackout Network. They've done a great job this week. They're doing it. Credit where credit is due once again.
The crowd just absolutely adored this progressive pair. There were Bernie Sanders t-shirts everywhere and even AOC 2028 pins. And the reason is because the base right now is furious with the Democratic leadership in Washington for not standing up aggressively enough to President Donald Trump. But AOC and Sanders are not backing away from the fight. In fact, they are embracing it. That is a huge reason why are they putting on this tour in the first place. And AOC even had some sharp words for her.
No, that's not the reason. They are doing this so they can manipulate and maneuver the people. And AOC is getting this is her test committee to see the viability of her running for president in 2028.
Yeah, totally.
This is totally it. And again, they want to control us all, and they're going to make sure that we don't even get the crumbs this time. And they're going to say, like Schumer, well, you see, that's what happened. You elected Trump again, so you deserve what you get. We're not going to raise a finger to help you. It's going to backfire on them this time. I swear to God.
It always does.
They've been fucking us way too long, and we can't stand it no more.
We'll
sorry.
take our Social Security and see what happens, because this is what's going to fuck them up. Yeah. Netanyahu, Bernie tweeted this out. It says, Netanyahu has not allowed any food, water, or fuel into Gaza in 2 weeks. Now he has resumed bombing, killing hundreds of children, and breaking the ceasefire that has given Gaza a chance to live again. No more military aid to Israel. And then
he just voted to support them again. Talk about hypocrisy. And don't give me this, all these bots out there that are buying Bernie's bullshit. Oh, it's nuanced. You don't know. It's too complicated. Fuck off. We've been around too long. We do know. We do know. And you brought this with Chrome Dome
Carver
Keeper here.
Well, okay, so James Carver, he thinks that there's a huge problem inside the Democratic Party, right? He says, I dedicated the best years of my fucking life to this party, only to see it taken over by a bunch of stupid motherfuckers. Everything's gone to shit. And who is that he's blaming? That would be the progressives inside the party, not the corporate oligarchs that are, have captured his fucking party, that him and Bill Clinton allowed to take over the Democratic Party. No, it's people like you and I and the chat that are too progressive and not listening to the corporate, overseers of the party that have ruined the party.
I hope that what we're talking about and our passion might be overdone, you guys can relate to. I know a lot of you are thinking the same thing we're thinking. This is not unique because we're living this. We are, and we've got that connection. And what is this one right here?
No, you got to go back. We can skip this one. It's Peter Thiel. I don't care. He's just saying
fuck
the
Peter
Democratic
Thiel.
Party's dead.
We're going to skip him.
Okay, so have you guys seen that Harry Sessions is under attack, manipulating women to share exploitative videos? Remember this little ass kisser influencer of Biden's that they paid probably millions to during the election season? Come on, you remember this kid? Him and his little buddy. Well, he's been sexting all kinds of freaking women, asking for booty hole shots and all kinds of shit. So it is the fall of the Democratic influencers who just a year ago had run of the White House.
I want to take a community. I want to give a PSA, a community service announcement here. Since you brought this up, Harry Sessions, his demographic. There are others out there in independent media around his age doing all kinds of things and moving up the ladder way too fast.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys know who I'm talking about. Stay away from those guys. They are, I swear to God, they're an op, and if I'm proven wrong, I'll be the first to mea culpa.
Are you talking about the Vanguard? No.
I'm talking about them and the guy with the hair, and there's some other ones out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you see them in your X profile all day long, they're probably an op.
They're probably an op.
I'm just saying. Am
I bringing Tampon Tim in, or are we skipping that?
You can bring Tampon Tim in. This is only
Okay.
20 seconds. It's kind of
All right.
funny.
All right. Here we go. Tampon Tim. What the hell is he doing here?
You'll see.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
Is this real?
Well, yeah, it's real in the fact that he moved a flag. Do you think it's real?
No, no, Shanda. That's not real.
Obviously, it's not real.
There, that's.
But he's working on the important things like getting tampons into, male bathrooms, but all bathrooms.
Okay,
apparently.
whatever. Now we got. Talk about flip flopper. Who they call a big flip flopper back in the early 2000s?
You know what? I was gonna cut this one, but I never got a chance to. But everybody's ran it, so I mean, you can run like the first minute of it.
No,
but will you
that's
take me
okay.
off screen for a second?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll run a few seconds of it. But Tulsi is the biggest flip flopper in history on everything. I don't know what the hell happened.
There are
but
millions of Yemeni people who are on the brink of death from famine, disease, lack of access to
Are you
food
good?
and water, basic medicine and health care. Thousands of Yemeni civilians have died in this genocidal war being waged by Saudi Arabia with support from the Arabia, calling them out for what they are, and now refusing to end U.S. military support for this genocidal war in Yemen that Saudi, at least in that respect, and using our U.S. military, my brothers and sisters in the military, to do that. Going back through his first term as president, he has been and remains very committed to combating and defeating the threat of Islamist terrorism that not only affects the United
Yeah, I'm good now. And Desert Mantis absolutely says Tulsi is a charter member of the Islamophobes United. And, what the hell, Oz? She was an Assad toady, remember, for so long.
Yeah.
And called that out on the Joe Rogan show. And now here she is like, oh, yeah, let's just bomb the Yemen Houthis into oblivion.
yeah, I know that Syrian, the Assad thing with Syria. That was, it's funny how people say they changed their stripes. They didn't change their stripes. They're always like that. Always like that.
She's
I think
willing
I
to
brought this. I don't know what it is. I think, let's just pull the lever.
If there's someone in one of these cars, they blow up.
Oh, Tesla. Let's just move it on to Teslas.
Or worse, terrorism plus. And I know that on January 20th, the president signed into law, through an executive order, restoring the death penalty. Do you think this sort of thing?
Yeah.
And I hate to think it. People leave their children and pets in cars. I mean, you don't know. This is deadly, dangerous stuff these liberal protesters are playing with.
Yes, it is, Harris. And what I can tell you is that President Trump condemns this violence, and he is determined to restore law and order.
Literally,
in our
Fox
country,
is talking
and
about
he
the
will
death
ensure
penalty
that the harshest penalties
for
are pursued
vandalizing
for those
Teslas
who are engaging in this vicious violence that we have seen targeted at this American company, Tesla dealerships.
There are already laws on the books that deal with arson and everything
I'm
else.
right. They're calling it domestic terrorism. Like,
Well, they're trying to work their way up to make anti-Semitism domestic terrorism.
oh
if
God,
they haven't already.
they probably will. They probably will. I mean, just breathing is anti-Semitic. I saw in the chat earlier, and I couldn't agree more.
What the hell is this?
JD Vance talking about how he's doing a better job than Harris. This is kind of funny.
Oh, that's a high bar. Okay.
Right.
Or are you doing the job differently than Kamala did it?
Well, I don't have 4 shots of vodka before every meeting. That's one way I think that Kamala really tried to bring herself into the role is these word salads, and I think that I would need the help of a lot of alcohol to answer a question the way that Kamala Harris answered questions.
Well, yeah, he's a better speaker. He's far better read than Harris. Yeah. You know, and Harris had to do what her ringmasters told her to do. I'm not making excuses. It's just a fact. The guy's a better crooked politician, in my opinion. So
she's still out there with their damn word salad. I saw a video of her earlier, like yesterday. Like, what the fuck is she talking about?
What is this? You brought...
Oh, France wants the Statue of Liberty back.
Give it to him!
Is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now.
What? What?
Yeah.
What? How about Russia?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What the hell? What the hell?
Well, you know, we take credit for World War II. Fuck, Russia wasn't even there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They lost millions and millions. So,
and they were the first in to Berlin. But let's not even recap that shit because that's not reality,
I'm not gonna.
right?
I don't have time to hash this out.
Right.
The only reason I say take it back is that Macron is a psychopath and he's running that country into the ground. And the sooner my French relatives over there figure that out and get rid of that bastard, the better off they're going to be. You brought Mitch McConnell. Yeah. Is he still a thing? I thought he was done.
I thought he was retiring, but apparently somebody asked him a question about tariffs, but he can't hear anymore. So, yeah, check it out. He's still there.
Here in Kentucky or talk to him about it being a bad policy at all?
My hearing is not what it used to be.
Tariffs, Senator. Your comment is about tariffs. Tariffs.
What's a tariff?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of tariffs.
I'm not a fan.
I hope it works.
I hope it works.
What that looks like here in Kentucky or...
Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Now, what is this? JFK got whacked by...
Well, the JFK files, finally, Trump did what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail, and he released some of the JFK files, not all of them. But anyways, the CIA files revealed that JFK was killed by seed oils. Just saying.
Okay. All right. And so I had to buy some oil. I had to, a little bit.
It's hard to go buy oil. You stand there and go, I can't buy that one. I can't buy that one.
Yeah, I know. So I
the
bought
one I need to buy is $5,000.
Yeah, no, I bought a little tiny because there's some things that I can't substitute butter or olive oil for, but whatever.
Right.
So Harvard study finds seed oils healthier than butter. Did they get an endowment from the seed oil industry or what?
I would say so, because this is absolute total horse shit. We all know fucking better, and don't listen to anything that Harvard says. And I've been saying that for fucking years. Harvard is one of the most bought off, paid for.
Yeah.
Their science is bought and paid for. Their law is bought and paid for. Like, yeah, this is the indoctrination college of the United States.
Yeah, this
university.
This is part of what happens when empire falls, and we are in the middle of a fall right now. You brought this
butter. I use butter for fucking everything.
Yeah, and
butter,
I don't even know
olive oil, and avocado oil, and whatever that oil is that Nat you sent me, that zero. That stuff's amazing. I'm sure it's really expensive. Yeah, have you been looking at the files? There wasn't much in them that was anything that we didn't know, right? But we did know this, the whole Israel connection. We knew this.
We did, and that kind of it wasn't shocking. We've been talking about this for years now. So what is this? Is this a video?
This is Nico House giving you a little rundown, 2-minute rundown of the JFK files.
All right, let's listen to Nico.
The JFK files have been released. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some suspect information in there that I think we should be paying attention to. Some people are claiming that most of this information was already known and this is a big nothing burger, but I beg to differ. For example, the average American had no idea that the CIA was requesting that all mentions of Israel be redacted from the JFK files. Now, if Israel was not involved in JFK's assassination in any way, form, or fashion, I'm not sure why it would be necessary to remove Israel's name from literally all of the files. We also know that for some reason, there was only one man who acted as liaison between the U.S. intelligence community and Israel. That man is James Angleton. And if you look at that date, he was part of the CIA from 1954 to 1975. This means two things. He was there before JFK got elected, and he was also there after JFK was assassinated. The second thing is that Israel, despite only being created in 1948, had so much power and influence that they had a personal liaison within the U.S. government and were responsible for running covert operations on behalf of the U.S. government. It also was Allen Dulles, not Dwight D. Eisenhower, the president, who put Angleton in charge of this very specific correspondence between Israel and Angleton. And Angleton had so much power and control over this information that he was able to even pick and choose just how much information got to the FBI regarding Israel's involvement in U.S. intelligence operations. In other words, whether it be the Bay of Pigs, other covert operations in Latin America, or even false flags within the country, if Israel was involved, it would only be up to Angleton between 1954 and 1975 to decide whether or not the people knew about their involvement, which might explain why the CIA was so adamant about requesting Israel's name be redacted from the JFK files.
So there's one guy who was the liaison for the newly formed frickin' Israel government who knows exactly what went down, how it went down, and when it went down. And, you know, we've all known. I mean, I did a lot of deep diving into JFK back in the 80s and 90s, right? Like a lot of us did, because that's where the whole conspiracy theorist crap came from. And they seriously had me convinced it was a mob hit, right? Oh, it was the mob that wanted him
I
out
was thinking it was too, yeah.
Because they elected Kennedy and then he screwed him over. Him and Bobby went after the mob and they started taking him down. But now that I'm older and I'm wiser and I know more about our government on the inside, I definitely, without a doubt, my conspiracy believe that it was 100% Israel.
Well, what I've been reading and listening to this week is that JFK found out that Israel got the plans for a nuke and he was pissed.
Yeah. He was pissed. He didn't want him to have it. Exactly.
And then that's what, facilitated all that.
Yep, I agree.
Did. So I tend to go with that. It makes a lot more sense. You brought Fee says.
Fee says anti-imperialistic left independent, etc. and independent journalists have been talking about this for at least 60 years. Glad you're all catching up now that Trump's released some of the redacted files, but this is not a new thing and nor a discovery. So conspiracy theorist was coined by the CIA in the 60s to silence anyone who had questions about the official JFK story. Let that sink in. And Israel shouldn't have nuclear weapons. Changed my mind. Yeah, exactly. That's what it says on this.
They shouldn't, because they're all ready to rapture themselves, and if Iran pops off, that's it. I mean,
France is the one that's ready to rapture everybody. Well, have you seen that shit?
Yeah, France. Their leadership are a bunch of cowards. I'd more,
They don't have enough weaponry to do anything other than to piss Russia off and to piss Iran off, and then we would have to come in and start nuking people for them. So
Starmer and the German parliament, they're getting ready to ruin their economy worse than it already is.
It already is when they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Come on.
Once again, we've got to be smart. Don't disengage, but just train yourself to breathe when you're doing this stuff so it doesn't wreck your heart and your soul, but we need to fight. And this was today protesting warmongering Democrat Congressman Adam Smith. There's nothing democratic about this guy. He's been on the Armed Services Committee on and off through his career, and the guy he's horrible. But we've got to do more of this, and we've got to get in their face, and we've got to plan it better, and it's got to be better organized. You brought a McGregor here. What's going on with this?
This is Judge Knapp, and he's asking McGregor about why did Trump allow Netanyahu to start the genocide back up, basically.
Okay, let's hear.
Why do you think, Colonel, President Trump unleashed Prime Minister Netanyahu to resume genocide in Gaza, which unfortunately resulted, I say unfortunately, it was intentional, the killing of 400 civilians in the past 2 days?
I don't think he has any choice. I think when he ran for office, he made certain agreements with major donors. These donors move far beyond just Miriam Adelson, and these donors oblige him to effectively underwrite whatever Mr. Netanyahu wants to do. I thought it was interesting that a recent meeting was set up for the United States with Azerbaijan to talk about cooperation with Israel, but it was set up by Mr. Netanyahu. He called and made the arrangements with Mr. Aliyev, who's the president of Azerbaijan. The State Department did not do it. I think we're very much in the grip of the Israel lobby, and I think President Trump is obliged to go along, and I don't see any evidence that he's going to diverge from that path.
You can kill it after this.
Does he have no choice but to back up Israel militarily when it attacks Iran?
I think so. And keep in mind,
he
you
has
always
no
have
choice.
the possibility that
We're their
a
bitch.
war is precipitated somehow by Israel somewhere in the region with Iran. The Iranians respond, and the expectation.
I hope not.
But that's the reality of it. Trump is owned by the likes of Adelson and all of the big donors that bought his way into the presidency. You don't get to be the front face puppet of the global elites without having to do what they say. So the New York Post has somebody writing for them, and that would be Alan Dershowitz. No way.
Yeah, just how many of Gaza's civilians are entirely innocent. Alan McLeod says just how many of Jeffrey Epstein's closest associates are entirely innocent. I thought it was a touche, man. That's the way you do it. And
God, I wish Dershowitz, that demon, would go away.
Now, somebody came at me using WikiLeaks as or not WikiLeaks, Wikipedia as their reference.
No,
Jesus Christ. This has been debunked. The CIA and Mossad and everybody and their brother edits on Wikipedia. And Candace Owens brought on what's-his-face, the Israeli PM guy. What the hell? I can't remember his name. But
I gotta tell you, I've really been digging Candace lately.
Yeah.
Oh, not this
Natalie
guy.
Bennett. Yeah.
Oh God, this guy's the worst.
Instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
Don't listen to Cynthia McKinney, who was there.
So casual. We're just like trading editors to go in there and to make sure that things are Zionist.
Yeah.
Look up anything. It's going to be like Zionist spit on it. So it's like, this is not, none of this stuff is conspiracy, guys. And
no, it's not. It's just a fact. And they used to do it behind our back and stealthy. And now, over the last couple of it's in your face. They don't give a shit because there's obviously nothing we're doing effectively to
You
stop
want the real story of what went down with the flotillas? Go listen to Cynthia McKinney. And she was on the fucking flotilla. She'll tell you exactly how it went down.
Yeah, absolutely. You brought Jill Stein, and we've got...
Jill Stein got arrested yesterday, wasn't it? Did you see the way they used the bike to force her down, too, man? We had them use their bikes on us in Philadelphia in 2016. It's crazy how they weaponize them. So, yeah, she got arrested. And when we can burn things again, Democrats, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You brought this also?
Let's see. They know who killed JFK. Quick, start talking about the pyramids. Did you hear this crazy story this week that kind of took over the news about how they used a new scanning radar and they found a bunch of structures underneath the pyramids?
I think this was a movie.
No, it's true. I mean,
I
don't know it's true, but this is true what they're trying to say.
No, I think this was part of a movie at one time because it reminds me of that. I did want to read this up here. Remember, everybody, life humbles you as you age. You realize how much you wasted on nonsense. And we're not wanting you to waste your life on nonsense. Just keep that in mind going forward. Is this the pyramid story? Here we go.
Yeah, this is just a little clip of it.
Hey friends, breaking news at the Pyramid of Giza. You are not going to believe what they found, not only inside the Great Pyramids, but underneath the Great Pyramids. This discovery is going to change everything that we know about, well, everything. Check this out, guys. So in 2022, they used this new type of technology. It's called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, and it's something that they can use to look inside of things. And they use this kind of radar to make this like 3D model of the interior of things, and they can see stuff with this technology that you can't see any other way. And when they did this, they found some remarkable things that they didn't expect to find inside the pyramid. like these 5 new chambers that they didn't know existed before, and this unique sloping roof that they can't really explain. But when they redid this experiment a couple years later, that's when things got real crazy. So this is the pyramid, and this is underground. They found 8 of these gigantic columns that go down over a mile. A mile, guys, down into the ground. And you see these things that are wrapped around them? They think that these are actually staircases, pathways that go down, but they also act as like a coil that you would find on some sort of like electromagnetic battery or something like that. And these things go down over a mile into the ground, and you're never going to believe what they go into.
Rare earth magnet.
All 8 of them feed into these 2 gigantic cubes. These cubes are hundreds of feet wide and tall. Now, this is super significant because in the Emerald Tablets and all sorts of other ancient texts and books and things like that, they've talked about things underneath the Great Pyramid, like the halls of Amenti and these secret libraries of Atlantis and things like that. And now we're finding these gigantic columns that go down over a mile from the base of the pyramid into these gigantic cube rooms. So the official findings just came out a few days ago, and they say near the base of the pyramid, 5 identical structures are seen connected by geometric pathways. Inside each of these are 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof. This is what's above. This is what's actually inside the pyramid. Below these 5 structures are 8 cylindrical structures which appear to be vertical wells, hollow inside and surrounded by descending spiral pathways. These 8 vertically aligned cylindrical structures arranged in 2 parallel rows from north to south descend to a depth of 648 meters. That is so far down, where they all merge into 2 large cubic structures measuring approximately 80 meters per side. The entire structure extends approximately 2 kilometers beneath the surface. That's 1.2 miles.
Wow. So they're batteries. We've always known it. They're giant fucking batteries.
Well, yeah, under certain types of photography, I think it's Carillion photography, because they have the pyramids positioned a certain way.
Yeah,
an angle, and Snorky could probably chime in on this, but it's interesting to follow, and I know that they've used that kind of scanning before, and they've uncovered a lot of interesting things. I want to remind everybody.
Can I tell you the one?
Go ahead.
I just want to follow up with the fact that we have been lied. Not just about current events and current history and everything that's going on. They have lied to us and manipulated our
Area
history
51
for centuries, for millennia. Like literally, that's all I do is study ancient history. If I'm not looking at current news, I am literally digging around dealing with pyramids and the ancient Samaritans and the Emerald Tablets and all of that crap. And everything's a freaking lie. We can't trust anything that we have been told in history. So
Area 51, reverse engineered.
Oh gosh, yeah. I kind of fell down that rabbit hole this week with the whole. We've been building our own UFOs since like the freaking 70s. The U.S. has a shit ton of UFOs. Yeah.
Well, with AI now, they should be able to whip them out a lot quicker in the next year or so.
Yeah,
Don't these words forever, George Carlin. Don't just teach your children to read. Teach them to question what they read. Teach them to question everything. The value of an education is not the learning of many facts, but the training of the mind to think. God bless you, George Carlin.
God, he was so ahead of his time.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's what we need.
I mean, I loved him when he was alive, and in the 80s and 90s, but I so appreciate him so much more now.
Oh, there have been so many poets, artisans, philosophers that have spoken things that people have just forgot or refused to learn anymore. Once again, they're trying to crush
or
education.
Facebook blocks like Voltaire. I shared a Voltaire post, 2 years ago, and Facebook blocked it and said misinformation.
Oh, I know. I've got
fuck?
a couple of books on Voltaire behind me here, so I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna go in my own bliss. What is this about?
Let's see. Tesla breaking. Tesla is first in a series of permits. It needs to run robo-taxis in California.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You could get a Tesla to pull up and drive you around.
What's this all about?
Oh, this is just gross. Okay, so we've been seeing videos all over of people vandalizing, domestic terrorism. Of people's Teslas, but this is by far one of the grossest. I mean, the guy who was digging around in his ass and then wiping his hand on people's Teslas.
Oh, stop!
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
No, I promise this one's worse. This one's worse. Check it out.
Oh, thank you very little. Yeah, here we go.
This one's worse.
Oh, just what I need.
Never thought I'd be a victim of a Tesla attack, but look at this. Some schmuck walks up to my car, starts banging on the side of the car, checking it out, lowers his mask, look at him, and then starts to make himself puke all over my car. This is disgusting. He rubs it on my car. It's still there. He takes his keffiyeh to then wash off his hands.
At least this guy knows what a
Dude,
keffiyeh
is this even legal?
That was staged with a keffiyeh.
I don't know. I don't know.
staged.
But come on, that's just gross.
That was
Stop it. It's
Yes.
stupid.
So what's Elon Musk helping the Israelis target cancer hospitals in Yemen or what?
Well,
Is
that and Doge cut a bunch of fucking cancer research with their cuts this last week. So yeah, double decker. He's blowing up cancer research centers in Yemen and Gaza, and he's cutting it here in America. So
Great.
Yeah.
But what we did have was somebody got rescued. Is that right?
Oh yeah. The stranded astronauts that went on a 9-day pleasure cruise and ended up being up there for 90 a year or some shit.
Yeah,
they got
9 months or something. Yeah,
9 months. Yeah,
Did their
that's a total
hands
public
shrink?
violence.
Somebody said their hands shrunk. I don't know what the hell.
I
that
don't
is.
know.
Anyway.
Their faces aged. I can tell you that. What the
Yeah, that
hell?
one gal looked pretty tired. She must have been awake
she's
the whole
looking
time.
tired. For sure. This looks fake to me. This looks like AI.
Off the coast of Tallahassee,
This is the actual
Florida.
feed from NASA, aka SpaceX. Doesn't this look
And
fake?
splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore. Everything looks AI generated anymore.
Yeah, that's probably real. I don't like the way the parachutes are flipping around there.
They're perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Good main relief.
Yeah,
Copy
probably.
splashdown. We see main chutes cut. This
probably
is
I love how
Alex,
she welcomes
Butch,
them home.
Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
Welcome home.
SpaceX, on behalf of my
On
daddy.
behalf of
Yeah.
SpaceX, not NASA.
Yeah,
SpaceX.
there you go.
So
Now
Boston Dynamics, of course,
Yeah.
you know, they're in competition with Elon. Do you remember their robot Atlas? Well, this Atlas is getting good. Check out how Atlas is responding nowadays.
Yeah, well, this is scary because of the agility here. So check this shit
Yeah,
out.
this is scary. I agree.
I was talking to Reef about this before the show tonight.
This is scary.
It is scary.
That thing fucking comes crawling at me, like I'm gonna be freaking out. This is the iRobot, man.
It's worse. It's worse. Haha. Oops.
I can do cop rolls. You saw that army of robo dogs that were
Yeah,
training.
I saw it. Yeah.
That I ran on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this guy's a little badder ass than Tesla Bot. Tesla Bot kind of seems like a weenie compared to this guy.
Yeah, I think he'd beat the shit out of a Tesla bot.
I think Atlas would beat the shit out of Tesla Bot. Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, that's scary because not only they have the agility, but can you imagine they don't have flesh to damage or bones to break. They've got composite pieces, you know, like aluminum and steel.
No, you have to melt them down like Terminator. You have to put them in a
yeah.
vat of friggin'.
Yeah, this is spooky.
Yeah, I do keep an eye on Boston Dynamics YouTube, Snarky. I
What's the
absolutely
difference
have for many years.
What's the difference between Trump and Biden? Can you tell me?
Well, Biden knows Trump knows if he's shitting his pants. Biden doesn't.
Okay. Otherwise, they're the same.
Yeah.
Pro Rockefeller, Rothschild, Bill Gates, Federal Reserve. Actually, okay, we get it. Now this is another PSA. What scares me the most is not the fact the media is lying to us. It's the fact that most of you believe them.
That's the
honest
scary
to
part.
God, guys.
Yeah.
And our chat doesn't believe them. But they, you know, I've noticed that they're making fun of people who question like the jab or media anymore on commercials. That's how bad it's getting.
Wow.
They're making people like us seem hysterical. Oh my God, these are conspiracy theory, all this shit. Don't buy it. That's part of the manipulation. And the media has been lying to us for decades. You brought a oh God.
I did find it MSNBS last minute this morning, and this is repulsive. So there was a young boy who has cancer who wants to be a police officer when he grows up.
Trump brought this
Trump
kid, yeah.
honored him, right? Trump honored him this week. Well, this is how MSNBC handled it, and it's just it's revolting.
Nicole Wallace, is that who that is?
Yeah, shame on her. Shame on her for this.
And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
You know what? This is from when he addressed both houses of Congress. And she got so much shit from that. I don't know how she still has a job after that.
Yeah, this is just disgusting. It pissed me off, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but how dare you attack a little kid that has cancer that he was just building up in this way? Just gross.
You know what? And Shanda, they'd say to you, well, Trump brought him in on purpose so he could get points. I don't give a fuck.
Who
you still
cares?
don't
the
do that.
Virtue signal with people with cancer all fucking day long.
All the time.
Exactly.
All the time. Anyway, Nicole Wallace, go to hell. You're terrible. But so is everybody over there, including Rachel Maddow. And I hope when her 100 days are up and they're getting close, I hope she takes
Oh, God. The countdown to getting rid of Rachel Maddow.
Go hang out with Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres, will you?
I saw
Just
Rosie
get the hell
did
out
an
of there.
interview the other day.
Yeah. And you wanted to talk about this briefly.
Scientists trapped in Antarctica plead for help as violence breaks out. So apparently one of the South African members has gone crazy and has been sexually assaulting and violently assaulting other members. And I just say flashback to the Thing. Like, dude, I would lock that fucker in a cabinet and sorry, you're staying there till we leave.
I hope crab legs don't come out of his head when he's decapitated.
Right? The Thing scared the shit out of me.
That was, you know, Kurt Russell again. Kudos to Kurt Russell. He's always been in.
He was
movies.
young and sexy in that movie. He definitely was.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
yeah, he was.
Yeah, okay, whatever. What's this all about? What do we got here?
What is this? I don't remember what this.
Think twice about polyester. What?
Oh.
Your mic just ate shit.
Mic check.
Okay,
I don't know.
You're back.
No, this is about polyester and how your body is absorbing the microplastics from polyester while you're wearing it.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. Here we go.
Fuck, who can afford cotton?
It seems that people don't believe me when I tell them that the polyester nylon yoga athletic outfits are literally made of plastic. Polyester nylon is plastic, polyethylene terephthalate, and it's plastic processed with insane amounts of chemicals, phthalates, bisphenols, PFAS, forever chemicals, which are all endocrine disruptors, messing with hormones. It's like they don't even believe me when I tell them, and it's because it's such a hard truth to swallow that it can be causing disease inside of you, can be causing all these issues. It's literally pure, chemically processed pure plastic. And the reason it has these moisture wicking and all these properties, and it's great at getting rid of moisture and bouncing off moisture, is the chemicals they use to process it, the forever chemicals. That's what's giving it those abilities, which make it 1,000 times more harmful. It can literally cause infertility. Say you do have a child and you're wearing these polyester nylon plastic outfits, it can cause developmental issues in the child. The microplastics and the chemicals, the reason they call them forever chemicals is because they accumulate inside of you and don't go away, and they accumulate in the environment and they don't degrade. It takes thousands and thousands of years to degrade.
Yeah, we're fucked. You know what?
And you know, all the clothes that are coming out of China that are made in China, you buy them on Amazon, you buy them at Walmart, you buy them at Ross, they are all full of these fucking plastics. I mean, cotton's expensive.
Oh, I know.
It really is.
I know.
Bamboo's a good alternative, or hemp, I would say.
Shit, I'm just gonna get a fig leaf and paint myself green.
Yeah, there you go. Get yourself a fig.
We used to use something called antiperspirant. It's probably still out there, and we, instead of deodorant, there is a difference between deodorant and antiperspirant.
No, I know there is.
And we used to spray a thing called aluminum chlorhydrate in our armpits. And I liken this story to that because these forever chemicals like BPA or Teflon or any of that shit is going to get absorbed into your body. And this next story, scientists issue urgent warning after finding out tiny particles in human brain, plastic particles in human brains are particularly alarming. So I mentioned this, was it to you the other day or somebody, that they better figure out a way to start getting this shit out of your body to detoxify yourself. And I know there are certain ways to get like what's in tuna
what are they going to do? Hook you up to a blood filtering machine and freaking filter all the plastics out? Because there's no way to dissolve these things once they're in your body.
Instead of working on killing people, we should be working on saving people. I mean, because this is
too
huge.
Many depopulation.
I know. But anything that you wear, drop, snort, shoot, or rub into your belly, just be cognizant of the possibilities. Because
or you'll end up like me.
Have you seen how many things are getting recalled lately? I think every day I turn on shit, things are getting... Foods sold at Walmart, Target, and Whole Foods recalled over wood particles and undeclared allergens. Well, those undeclared allergens can be just about anything, eggs, milk, anything like that. But my point in bringing this is more and more things, and I know our chat can relate to this, you're seeing things being recalled. And this is actual news. When it's recalled, it's news. It's not if there's something in it. It's being recalled because they found shit in it. Metal filings.
Yeah.
Today, there was like some beef sticks today.
Looking. They just get caught. Yeah.
Yeah, they have beef sticks in it. It's something in the beef sticks. Christ, I don't know what was in beef sticks. But, it can be metal filings or anything like that that's, not too good. And you just got to be, you got to be cognizant of what you...
Well, the sad part is that most of this shit is allowed by the FDA. So if it's being recalled, it must be really bad.
Yeah. So when you start shitting on that Zionist asshole that's in charge of Health and Human Services now, when he's actually doing something right and trying to get shit, out of foods, dyes and stuff. Hey, okay, you're still a Zionist dick. But you're doing something right here, or taking off. The thing that's really going to get him nailed is him trying to get pharmaceuticals pulled off of advertising, because that's a double-edged sword. That makes billions of dollars for advertisers and the pharmaceutical companies.
But I would love to see it go, because the last time I watched real television was right after I got my cancer diagnosis. Every ad was Big Pharma. Every single ad. Yeah. I don't watch TV, but every ad I was shocked. Like, holy shit, this is bad.
And it's still on steroids, because when you start searching something on the web, it starts popping up in your feed, what you were looking for.
You shouldn't be going to your doctor and asking them about a medication. You should go to your doctor, and your doctor says, oh, I think you need this medication.
Yeah.
That's
or
the way it's
you can ask. You can ask them, is there something that's proven, that's been tested, that is working?
Right. Not like,
that's
hey,
what you ask. You don't ask them for,
I was watching football the other day, and they said that I needed these drugs. Give them to me.
Yeah, unless some of you old fuckers got to get Viagra. I just, whatever.
Oh, Bob Dole. Bob Dole was the one selling that shit, right?
Yeah, with his arm.
Remember Bob Dole walking on the beach?
Just worked on his arm. So, Texas bill aims to ban barking, meowing, and other non-human behavior in schools and tackle furries trend. What the hell? Is this these people that act like furries, that cats and dogs? Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
Yeah. Texas is going to stop them from meowing and barking, so hopefully that they will stop doing this in schools.
We're doomed. By the way, Shanda, did you know that there are a bunch of volcanoes ready to pop off again?
Nice.
Alaska volcano likely to erupt in coming weeks as experts warn of extremely hazardous events. What do you mean, like caldera? I mean, there's one in Italy going off right now.
Well, Concrete had an earthquake today. Concrete, Washington.
Really? I've been through Concrete a couple of times. How big was it?
I want to say like a 4.2. It wasn't that big.
Shit. Well, that's big enough. I'm not looking forward.
We've been having a bunch of them. They've been popping off all around the San Juans and where I live for the last 6 weeks. And so yeah, the Ring of Fire is very, very active, and I could see something big popping off on it.
Yeah, I can too. I just it
doesn't help that Harp's been all fucking jacked up all damn week too.
I know.
That contributes to that.
For the love of God, to our wonderful chat, we're not trying to freak you guys out. We're just calling them as we see them. Jesus Christ. What's next?
I just say things you might want to look into. Look into Harp. Harp's been cranked up all week, and now
like
we're having
I said,
earthquakes.
this is your 2 hours of a breath. I don't know what kind of breath. Maybe it's vomitous or bad breath or good breath. But just take a breath from all the murder, death, kill if you can. We're trying not to bring so much of that. By the way, here's another PSA. By the way, the shoe bomber was a Beltway snipers were a Fort Hood was a underwear bomber was a, and it you get the point.
Who's the underwear bomber? Can I tell you about the shoe bomber? Okay, so the shoe bomber happened in where I live in Port Angeles, Washington, and there was one police officer or border patrol agent named Mike Chapman, who actually chased the dude down the street because he started running in my little town of Port Angeles. He took off when they stopped him, and he tackled him to the ground, and he held him there till other officers got there and they arrested him. Well, that man, Mike Chapman, ran as a Republican many years ago, and he was a Republican representative for a while. And then he had a falling out with the Republicans. So then in 2016, he showed up at Democratic headquarters locally here, and he begged all the Democrat progressives that were Bernie supporters to get behind him and to support him. And we did. He said he was going to support a bunch of the Bernie platform. He listened to a bunch of stuff. He did all of his elevator speeches and stump speeches for us. And we got behind him and we supported him. And guess what? He is now a representative. And I think he's going to be running for probably Senate here in the next round because he's done his couple of rounds as an LD representative.
You're saying the shoe bomber? This is the shoe bomber?
Yeah, the dude, the cop the border patrol agent that tackled the shoe bomber is now a duping representative who duped a bunch of the progressives into supporting him, and then
the cop.
I can't support that. Yeah,
okay. I thought the shoe bomber.
Oh, no, the shoe bomber is still locked up somewhere for the CIA.
I hope so. I was going to say, did Biden give him?
But it was a win-win for everybody, right? It was win-win because now the cop, he's famous.
Just remember something, and I got to say again, no matter how much you might like one of these people in Congress, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, Massey. Well, I'm wrong. I was corrected, and I appreciated that it was pointed out. All politicians are lying crooks. The only way that you're going to get any government semblance back, and even then it's a push, is to get the damn millionaires out of Congress and get people like yourselves in Congress and maybe even fix it.
I just see nothing but narcissists who are all about self-promotion
and getting rich.
That's the people that run for office, and those are the people that normally win for office. So it's very rare to see somebody who actually doesn't give a shit about money and name and recognition to actually get into a position.
I brought a recent picture of Macron up there, and I think
see that.
That's not. But you brought.
That's how old he was when he met his wife, Bridget.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You brought this right here.
Let's see. I'm becoming more convinced that those of us who are struggling to listen at school were just instinctively tuning out the programming.
Oh, yeah. That was me.
I was problem child. Yeah. I talked too much.
I was too. I got away with way too much in school, but that was just me.
I don't know if I got away with most of
I got away with it. I did. I was good.
I did.
And we are at Hollywood. Go fuck yourself. So here we are, everybody. We're getting through this pretty good tonight. And
we are.
Is this Smith's kid?
Yeah, this is Joey B. Tunes. Joey, he's burning it on this one. This is funny.
Now look who it is.
How you doing, Dan?
What's up, bro? The Fresh Prince of Parental Abuse.
Come on.
Poor guy's been through so much he's trauma dumping into his pants now. The guy went from using his head as the front door of a dollhouse to using his pants as a portable toilet.
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Look at him. Grown man walking like a toddler who needs a diaper change.
All
right. Now look, we got another pair of poopy pants coming up the street here. This one's starting to fill up his slippers. Look at these things. $2,500. Yeah, let me get a loan out so I could dress like Kaylee at a fall festival. Do they come with a pumpkin spice latte too? Look at him. Worth millions of dollars dressed like a guy who lives behind a bowling alley. Yeah, at least the crackheads on Skid Row would be proud he's adopted their style. Yeah, at least he'd have a spot at the burn barrel tonight. This has to be the dumbest era to be alive in. Look at this. These are our stars here in America. Could you imagine Dean Martin walking down the street like that back in the day? People would think there's something wrong with him. I mean, look at this. Imagine Smokey Robinson taking a stage like this. Could you imagine? They'd think he was doing a comedy routine. That's probably what these kids think he's doing. Look at him like he can't fathom why anyone would be laughing at him. They probably thought they walked onto the set of Malibu's Most Wanted, too. I don't know. Maybe this is some sort of mating ritual here. That's what prisoners do when they want to offer their cellmates easy access to their assholes.
I mean, why would you have your hands that low if you don't want to show your butt? You're trying to show his sign or something? I'm saying, don't listen. You know what they do to people that sag in jail? Stick their fingers down their butt. It's called easy access.
Yeah, hopefully these two find each other soon. It'd be a shame if their pants hit their ankles before the romance begins. Now look, they found each other. Look at that. A match made in Astroglide. Boy, they're not wasting any time. I guess Justin has a wide open policy. Jesus, they're really giving the Notebook a run for its money. Oh, look, he's all dressed up for their anniversary dinner. That was nice of his sister to let him borrow her clothes for the big day. All right, I'm going to go throw up my lunch and keep looking for that time machine. Talk to you later.
Joey makes me laugh. He can be rude, but he's funny. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Talk about rude. This is rude right here.
Gal Gadot getting a star on the Walk of Hollywood fame. Here's the thing, though. Anybody can buy one of these. They're not like some prestigious award that is decided.
What are they, like $280,000?
Yeah. Basically, all you have to do is have a SAG card and pay a bunch of money, and you can have one of these.
What happened to the days when you had to have talent and actually perform in a
exactly? That's
Academy
what Joey was
Award-winning
saying.
Movie?
Yeah.
What the
there's
hell?
no talent.
Here we go. Here's Gal Gadot, huh?
Why did she decide to come dressed as an ostrich?
I love the music.
Snow White is totally fucking tanking.
Oh yeah, it ate the big one today, especially.
Oh yeah, Disney has woke themselves right out of Bolivian. I mean, they suck so bad.
Yeah.
Some homeless person will be shitting on it next week. Don't worry.
I saw everything from a pickaxe. I don't know if it was AI.
That was Donald Trump, actually. That was Donald Trump's star. They kept saying it was hers, but it was.
I don't know what the hell's going on with this kind of stuff, but you know, she's okay as far as actors go these days. I
don't even want to watch her shit. I hate her political positions.
Oh, well, yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Go back to the IDF and fill frickin' propaganda for them. I ain't watching your movies.
Yeah, I know. That's neither am I. You brought Bourdain here. What's going on here?
Let's see. I don't remember, but you know, he always had a good stance when it came to fighting for the people of whether it be, you know, Palestine or Myanmar. He was.
Well, I heard he was going to let some sensitive information go, and that's why he got deaded.
Well, a lot of people say he was in the room next door to Adam Schiff at the Chateau Marmont when something went down, and that's why he got unalived.
Well, let's hear what he's got to say.
I was enormously grateful for the response from Palestinians in particular for doing what seemed to me an ordinary thing, something we do all the time, show regular people doing everyday things, cooking and enjoying meals, playing with their children, talking about their lives, their hopes, and dreams. It is a measure, I guess, of how twisted and shallow our depiction of a people is, that these images come as a shock to so many.
Yeah.
The world has visited many terrible things on the Palestinian people, none more shameful than robbing them of their basic humanity. People are not statistics. That is all we attempted to show. a small, pathetically small step towards understanding.
Same guys that got JFK probably got him, right?
He always was outspoken. I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed his shows. He showed the local people as the people in their homes, what they were eating. Yeah. And I think that was when he got attacked for being on CNN and showing Palestine for actually being human beings. Just like when he went to Myanmar.
He didn't do himself. He didn't.
He did not do himself in, and it's very sad that we lost him because I really truly did like his show.
Okay, we're in the road tripping section here, and we've got Oz there road tripping, and we got the hippie Art Shanda, and together we can build a better future. Nice. And I love that guillotine. And if you remember,
you brought back the guillotine.
I have talked about Love American Style time and time again on our shows, and I miss that show. It ran for like 3 years back in.
I don't even know what it is, Boomer.
Oh, it was. You should watch a couple episodes on YouTube. It was funny. You'll recognize a lot of the actors. That's where they got their start. Anyway, we got Stoner Corner here, courtesy of Oz again. I don't do drugs. I set plants on fire and breathe. And when you realize Easter 2025 will be on 420. Yep. And yes, there is a new jet for... whose jet would you think that would be right there?
Willie Nelson's.
Willie Nelson's jet. Never underestimate an old lady who smokes weed. Don't do it. Don't do it. New study says 97% of elderly patients say cannabis makes them feel better, decrease prescription meds. I wish I could take it because it has a different effect on me. And I'm not going to read the 10 commandments of the weed, but it is kind of
I got to tell you, my partner was suffering really bad with diabetic nerve pain the last couple of weeks. And I finally broke down and gave him some RSO because I have quite a few different RSOs that I was taking before I started my chemo and my immunotherapy because I don't take them now because they'll interfere. It was shocking to me how much it helped him. Like within 24 hours, I saw a huge difference. So, I mean, don't rule it out. If you are at your wit's end and you don't know what to do for pain, try Rick Simpson's oil. RSO is Rick Simpson's oil. It's concentrated cannabis oil. You can take it in a capsule. You can, take it by just
I'm still
eating
taking
it.
the drops. Yeah, I'm taking the drops. I'm going to need them.
It really does help. Oh my gosh. I went to school for it, and so I know it works. It really does.
Need them on my tooth here, I think, pretty soon. My tooth is progressively getting worse. And we've got me, Mally. I just checked my account balance at the ATM. It printed me a coupon for ramen noodles.
Nice. Noodles are getting expensive.
Yeah, there you go. And there's one for the boomers out there. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans and Trigger. Yes, I remember them. I watched the Roy Rogers.
That was before my time, but I know who they are.
And you brought this one. I was a little slow. But
me, when people still believe that their side of the government is gonna fix things, that's psychopathic Tom Cruise.
That's hilarious. And back when I could smoke weed, the real dangers of cannabis, and that was me, boy. Love the munchies, love the munchies, and we have. Since I've gotten older, I've come to realize why Bigfoot stays away from people. I do,
yeah. I do
and
too.
If you're incapable of criticizing your favorite politician, you are in a cult. And I've run into that with some of our friends lately. And once you feel the burn, you never go back. And I think that's
why would you put that in there?
Because you never want to go back and get burned.
Can I tell you, I was at that actual event. I was 10 rows up. That was in Chicago. I know exactly where that picture was taken. I was there. I spent a lot of time on the campaign trail for Bernie Sanders. And you know what? I did feel the burn and I did go back. I went forward without him because I don't feel the same. I feel like Bernie just sheepdogs people. And,
and that's
spent
how
the first hour of this show talking about it.
That's how I would take it. Don't go back to that guy. Use what they are creating for organizing and actually getting something done, because this asshole is just going to tell you vote for the Democrats again. And this reminded me of you, just me and my to-do list ready for action. And that's Shanda.
How'd you know? I know. I told Al the other day, I go, pull out my notes on the side of my bag. And he pulls out like 3 different note tablets. Like, no, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that works. That works.
I got to take notes and I can't remember shit anymore.
Sometimes there's not just enough coffee or middle fingers to make it through the day. And I'm this old. And yes, I am. And
that sound of click, click, swish, click, click, swish.
Splash, splash, splish, splash.
You know what I think when I see that? I think, oh, won't hit my bank account for 3 days.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. For those
like
of
I
you
could use my card and it won't hit my account for like 3 days.
So go in on Friday night and go ahead and buy
exactly.
what you need. That's what
exactly.
You gotta do. And remember when,
no,
we've got a
hit
few
my
remember wins here. Shanda brought in this remember win. You'll have to explain it to me.
How do you not get this? Me, literally every time someone says, damn it, Janet.
Rocky
Where does
Horror
damn it?
Picture Show.
Exactly. Come
Rocky
on,
Horror
explain it
Picture
to
Show.
you. Every time somebody says damn it, I automatically say Janet.
How many times have you seen it at midnight?
I don't know, maybe once, maybe twice.
I counted it 27 times.
Holy crap. See, that's insane. And how did I have to explain that to you then? I did.
Well, we partied. We did a big run for a year. We'd go get stoned.
Did you do the rain and the whole dress up
and the
and
toast
all
and all the shit. Yeah, we'd get stoned and stuff. Steely Dan, reeling in the years. And for my age, I have a lot going on for me. My eyes are going, my knees are going, and my back is going. And that's not true. I've got artificial knees. They already gone. So
I need artificial knees already. So yeah, every one of those were true for me.
Yeah, that's how that works. And then we got this one here. When kids ask me why people in old photos had red eyes, I tell them they were too young to remember the demon uprising in 1980 with all the goddamn things. And
That's funny.
I brought this. This is one of my toys when I was a toddler. I had the little car with the driver and the steering wheel thing. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that had it. And let me see. We've got, flip-flop season is coming again. Shanda, you always put those in every season.
Happy spring. Happy spring. Yes.
Happy
First day of spring, I went out and got in the yard for the first time. It felt good. So welcome spring, everybody.
Don't overdo it, Shanda. Don't overdo it. And, of course, the banana splits. And I've got to say something about this. I am this old, and yes, I had those with the spoon and the fork. And it wasn't in prison because they wouldn't give me steel spoons and forks in prison. But this TV guide cover was a big deal back in 1970-something. That's Doug McClure, Tony Franciosa, and Hugh Bryan from The Name of the Game. And it was a short-lived series. And it was one of the best things they came out with. I think it was on NBC. But this cover, I'd never seen artwork like this before. And that's that TV guide cover. And I know a lot of people in our chat remember TV guide covers from back. They were the little 25-cent
my parents
TV
got TV guide every
week.
week.
So cool. They were so
You had to have a
cool.
TV guide or you didn't know what the hell was on.
You didn't know what was going on. But yeah, The Name of the Game, and I love that cover. I wish I would have saved it. I do have a TV guide here that has Elizabeth Montgomery on it somewhere because I loved Samantha. And if you didn't see The Flying Nun, you didn't miss much. It was I love Sally Field. But it was silly, funny, and I would take that over some of the crap that they're writing these days.
I
Shanda.
agree.
It's terrible. And I think we are about at the end of the show. Please stick around for the outro because I think it's beautiful. We had The Last Starfighter, and remember Pickle Pops? Nothing beats a pickle pop on a hot summer day.
I'm a pickle addict, let me tell you.
And there are some caps for a cap gun that I've shown before. And yes, we have, this is when you were really styling. I remember when this was the heights of sophistication. You remember that?
Yep.
There was so much damn sugar in this stuff. I think it killed people.
Oh, and I used 5-6 scoops.
Oh,
in my
yeah.
cup,
I
too.
just,
no.
that's not enough. I just throw a 1 or 2 extra in just for,
maybe just
you know,
one more,
and I think you can still buy this shit. And you know what? Back then, it was about $1.79 for a little tin of it. Now it's like $6-7. And it's just terrible. So
yeah, Grandma always had it up the cupboard. I'd be like, "Can I have some of that, Grandma?"
Yeah, it is. Well, Shanda, we are at the end of our rope, and I just want to thank everybody for hanging out. And we've got a hell of an outro, like I said. Little Annie Lennox, Eurythmics, and Annie Lennox. I think it came out nicely. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching these. We do put a lot of time in our outros, and I try and do my best with the re-engineering of the audio. So what do you got to tell everybody in the chat? You got anything last week?
Let's see. So no show on Monday. I've got my 7-year-old grandson with me this weekend. So and honestly, guys, I haven't felt good. It's been a really rough week. Just getting through this show, it's been rough for me. I'm in a lot of pain right now. So I'm going to take Monday off, but I will hit the ground running again. And we're going to play next Saturday by ear, right? See how you're doing.
Yeah. So far, I'm feeling like I could do it again next Saturday.
Okay, great. Then we'll go again on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to shoot for next Saturday. I just, once I get the music picked and make the magic thumbnail, we're good to go. So anyway,
I guess that's the plan.
Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate your support. And again, thank you, everybody, for just being here, because we're obviously making a career out of this, and we're making millions. And and it's because of you guys. That's why we're here. I mean, consistently. We're here.
And please go follow Trailer Park Pundit. I'd love to be monetized over on that channel one of these days.
Yeah,
I'm halfway there. I'm halfway. I need 500 more followers.
Yeah,
540.
Yeah, give Shanda 500 more followers. But again, you guys are the best, and appreciate everything. And thank you again for reaching out, Kate and Jody, this week. It's always a pleasure and appreciated. So we're going to get out of here with a little Sweet Dreams. And Why. And this Why is done by Kat Jade, and it just premiered last week. And they did another one they did an Alan Parsons next week, so I'm thinking we're going to go out with 2 really good Alan Parsons, I hope, next week for Alan Parsons fans. Have a great evening, everybody. We love you, and
thanks for joining us.
Stay out of trouble, for God's sakes.
I'm trying.